Hello neighbors, welcome back to the channel. I need you to sit down for this one and maybe grab a strong coffee because we are wading into some deep, raw, and incredibly painful waters today. We are talking about the kind of family betrayal that makes your stomach churn and your heart ache. We've all seen the headlines, the PR spin, the glossy photos of Montecito bliss. But today the curtain has been ripped down, and what's behind it is uglier than we ever imagined. Now I know you guys are excited for more, but before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So now Thomas Markle Jr. has finally broken his silence. And let me tell you, he didn't hold back. This wasn't a polished interview with soft lighting and pre-approved questions. This was a man pushed to his absolute limit, staring into a camera with eyes burning from years of frustration and bottled up truth. He went off, and the internet is still reeling from the shockwaves. He looked right at us and said the words that have been hanging in the air for years. The lowest of the low is what you are. He wasn't talking to the trolls. He wasn't talking to the press. He was talking to his sister, the Duchess of Sussex, the woman who claims to be the epitome of compassion and family values. And he didn't stop there. He laid it all out. For the man who gave you everything, your whiny little self, your whole entire life, and this is how you repay him? No phone calls, no texts, no nothing. Let that sink in for a moment. 7 years. 7 years of silence. Since her father, Thomas Markle Sr., had his heart attack, she hasn't spoken to him. Not once. While she preaches about service is universal and compassion in action, her own father sits alone in a tiny apartment in Mexico, frail, aging, and completely cut off by the daughter he adored. While Thomas is scraping together every penny he has to take care of him, bringing meals, arranging massages for his pain, installing safety bars in the shower, Meghan is filming cooking videos in an $11 million mansion. She's flashing that perfect Hollywood smile, baking for charity, acting like the world's most wholesome mother, while her own father wonders if he'll ever hear her voice again before he dies. Thomas Jr. dropped a number that made my jaw hit the floor. $750,000. That is how much Thomas Markle Sr. spent on Meghan. From her first baby bottle to her college diploma. We aren't talking about a struggling childhood here. Thomas Jr. reminded everyone that Meghan wasn't some kid from the wrong side of the tracks rubbing 2 nickels together at a salad bar. She grew up in Woodland Hills, California, surrounded by privilege. Her nursery looked like Toys R Us exploded for royalty. Dolls, books, plush animals piled high. Private schools all her life. The Little Red Schoolhouse, Immaculate Heart High, Northwestern University. These places cost tens of thousands a year. And who paid for it? Daddy. The same daddy she now ignores. The same daddy she erased from her narrative. Thomas Sr. wasn't just a checkbook. He was a hard-working, Emmy-winning lighting director. He worked 60, 70, sometimes 80-hour weeks on shows like Married with Children and General Hospital. He sweated under those studio lights for decades so his little girl could have the best of everything. He didn't miss a beat. Every overtime shift was for her. Thomas Jr. described their weekends, feeding ducks, nice dinners, laughter. She never knew struggle. When she got scholarship offers from other universities, she turned them down because they weren't good enough. She wanted Northwestern, and Thomas made it happen. He poured his life savings into her future. And now he gets nothing, no help, no love, just cold, hard silence. Thomas Jr.'s voice cracked when he said it. 7 years since his heart attack. Not one phone call, not one text, not even a birthday card. It's disgusting. Think about the cruelty required to do that. To know your father is suffering, to know he has mobility issues and chronic pain, and to do absolutely nothing when you have the world at your fingertips. It's not just distance, it's deliberate cruelty. And it gets worse. Thomas Jr. exposed one of Meghan's biggest lies, the caregiver narrative. Remember when she claimed she took care of her grandmother in her final years? Painted herself as this devoted granddaughter? Well, according to Thomas Jr., that is a complete fabrication. He said that for over 2 years, he and their father drove from Topanga Canyon to Glendale every single weekend to visit their grandmother. They spent hours with her, took her to lunch at Hamburger Hamlet or Mimi's Cafe. And Meghan? She showed up maybe 3 or 4 times in 2 years, 3 or 4 times. Yet she had the audacity to tell the world she was the primary caregiver. Thomas Jr. said, "That ticked me off." And honestly, who can blame him? Taking credit for someone else's devotion is a special kind of low. He said their grandmother would roll over in her grave if she knew how Meghan was treating her father now. "I hope she's up there pulling strings to make your life miserable," he added. That is raw pain speaking. It crumbles her whole image, doesn't it? The humanitarian, the saint. It's all smoke and mirrors. Thomas Jr. didn't mince words. "Everything out of your mouth has been a lie since you told them that you were an orphan." The orphan lie. Imagine saying you wished you had a family when your father spent $750,000 raising you, when your brother drove hours to see your grandma, when you were loved. She erased them all because they didn't fit the brand. They weren't polished enough for the palace. She isolated the Markles, made sure they had no guidance when the media storm hit because to her, they were disposable. "How do you start a relationship with a lie?" Thomas Jr. asked. And he's right. Everything with Harry, everything with the royal family, has felt off balance because the foundation was rotten. She built her castle on the erasure of her own blood. And look at the reality now. Thomas Jr. is exhausted. He's broke. But he's there. He cooks the hot meals, he checks the meds, he arranges the massages, he installs the non-slip mats. He is doing the heavy lifting of love. Meanwhile, Meghan could change their lives with one phone call, one check. She could give her father dignity and comfort in his final years. But she chooses not to. She chooses to let her brother struggle while she complains about her hard life in a mansion. Thomas Jr. warned us, "You're the most ridiculous person walking this planet if you don't cherish this time with your dad." Time is running out. Thomas Sr. isn't getting younger, and Thomas Jr. isn't doing this for revenge. He's doing it because his father deserves better. He's doing it because maybe, just maybe, Meghan will hear this and wake up. But until then, he promised to keep talking. "I'm going to do shows every day. This is just the beginning of the truth campaign." It brings tears to your eyes when you think about the contrast. William and Catherine, look at how they treat their families. The Middletons are close, supportive, loving. They are a unit. Even with the royal family's complexities, they show up. They do their duty. They honor their elders. Meghan, she discards them like last season's wardrobe. It makes you realize how lucky the royal family is to have Catherine, a woman who understands the value of family, loyalty, and truth. "You can get in your car right now and be at your father's bedside in 3.5 hours," Thomas Jr. said. That line haunts me. 3.5 hours. That's shorter than a flight to one of her tours. It's shorter than a spa day. But she won't do it. And that refusal speaks volumes about her character. So tell me, neighbors, what do you think? Can you erase your family and still call yourself a humanitarian? Can you preach compassion while practicing cruelty? Or has Meghan Markle finally gone too far? Because one thing is certain, Thomas Jr. isn't done talking. The truth is coming out, piece by painful piece. And frankly, it's about time. Leave your comments below. I want to hear your thoughts on this heartbreaking situation. Do you think there's any coming back for Meghan? Do you think she'll ever make that call? Or will she let her father pass away without a word? It's a tragedy unfolding in real time, and we are all witnesses. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more truth-telling, because we stand with the real royals, and we stand with families who actually show up for each other. Until next time, hug your loved ones a little tighter. Catch you in the comments. Ta-ta, and bye for now.